from the beginning, and just to be honest with you, because you want an honest director, right? I mean, you want him to tell you what you're doing right when you do it right, and what you're doing wrong when you're doing wrong, and how to fix it, right? Because you're kind of depending on our musicianship here, right? So if we're really honest with each other, we didn't get the memo to everybody in measure 5, look at measure 5, that immediately you're supposed to play that softer, right? Some of you caught on by the second note. Kind of went, ba, ba, yeah, oh yeah, ba, ba, oh yeah. Right? No, just right there is where it has to happen. And keep it down so you do the crescendo. Got it? All right, here we go. And then let's go on from there and see if you can just, don't think about anything else except dynamics. Look ahead at the dynamic and see if we can make a difference. Okay, here we go. No, better attack. Ta, 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 ta. Almost like you're playing staccato but sustained. Ta, 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 ta. Got it? 1, 2. You concentrated so well on your attack, and it was beautiful, that you didn't double it in measure 3. Okay? I want the trumpets to lead the way on da, 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 whatever it is on that third measure. Got it? Here we go. One more time. What do you think about that right there? What specifically could we tell them to do right there in where that was? Right there in measure 29. Any band directors, choir directors, elementary, pre-K, I don't care. This is just about music here. Yeah.
Maybe the crescendo?
Well, yeah. But actually, yeah, the crescendo's over at that point. Or let me ask you, and I don't want anybody to feel guilty unless you're playing. So let me talk to just the clarinets, bass clarinets, tenor sax, horn, trombone, baritone, trombone. You people that are in at measure 29, what do you think you could do to make that better? Say, yeah, you're smart. Let me hear it again.
Not really forte at the end of the notes, but like a more accented.
More accent. What happens differently right there at measure 29 that has not really happened before? I'm thinking about melodic rhythm here.
It smooths out.
Excuse me?
Kind of smooths out.
Yeah, they're quarter notes. We don't have that ba 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 beep ba ba. We've got a new section coming on here, right? So bum bum bum, right? Exactly. But what did we have? Ta ta ta. Kind of mindless playing. Got the right position. Got the right note. I'm playing it loud. Everything's good, right? Yeah. But musically, you know, if we think like musicians, which is what we have to do when we're in band, you know, we're not asking you to make a lifelong commitment like we have, because, you know, I mean, we could tell you why we're in it and why some other people shouldn't be in it. But when you think musically, it's like, what could I do there? And I think you're exactly right. Bum, bum, bum. And then what else when you get to that long note? The half note. Who's playing? Who's playing right there? Okay? What do you do with the half note when you get there? Play through it and crescendo a little bit after you made the attack, right? Bum 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 beep bum beep bum beep bum bum. Got it? Let's take it right there. We're at 29. This is pretty loud, which means your attack can be pretty dramatic. Go bum bum bee. Got it? 1, 2, and. That stuff in there, make it sound easy. Okay? You're making it sound like, oh my God, you know, make it a little easier. Alright? Good. Let's take it that far from the beginning and see if anything changed. Alright? Here we go. That is such a better attack. I mean, it's just pleasant. It's pleasant. It's not splatty. It's just and sometimes we think we got to play loud so people will hear us. You know what? They're going to listen to you more if we play like that. Bravo. Here we go. Comments? Let me ask them a couple questions. Okay, so in that, what changed? All right? Give me a couple of things that changed from the beginning until that part. This is called assessment. All right? Where assessment really is, did we hear a difference? Right? That's the way we really assess, because you can give me all the right answers, and if you play you guess what, you didn't learn anything. Okay, but what are the things that sort of changed? And the thing is now, to be able to do them over and over. It takes twice to make a habit, right? And it takes 3 or 4 times to really have it, because you can play it wrong twice and play it wrong forever. If you've ever learned anything wrong, you ever learned anything wrong before and then try to fix it? Very difficult, right? So give me one thing. One thing changed, yeah.
Entrances.
Entrances? In what way?
And like more refined.
More refined.
And not as splatty like you was.
Not as splatty. That's good. More attack.
Yeah.
Clearer.
Yes.
Tongue falling away faster. Right? Good. Anything else, Jeff?
Our musicality changed all around.
Okay, your musicality changed all around. I need a little more specific than that, because I don't understand that concept.
We manipulated our dynamics better than we did.
Absolutely. Now you're talking my language. Right? You paid attention to the dynamics. Not only did you pay attention to them visually, but you paid attention to them the way you played. And you looked ahead, you know, after I kind of, hopefully not scolded you, but encouraged you to look at those dynamics as they were coming up. And don't do them when you see them. Do them when you are supposed to do them, because you might not see them until you get there. Right? And you play that much easier like that. See, I think sometimes you just need a little lightening up, you know what I mean? Where you go, and I know that's not very specific, but when you're boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 just kind of lighten up. You got it on your fingers, you're just all kid stuff, right? What else? Wasn't it great that I didn't have to say anything to the percussion? You just transferred this back there? Excellent. What else? Anything else? Yeah.
Our phrasing throughout the piece, like that playing on.
Same thing we talked about with the vocal people, right? How you gonna make a long note exciting? Crescendo it, right? Anything else? Miss Lit. Litfin. Litfin.
That's what they call it.
I keep thinking Litfin. I don't think I've ever met a Litfin before.
No, I haven't either. I've been before.
Okay. I want you to do it again, and let's see where we go from there. Because you know the nice thing about music is you never quite get it perfect. You just keep working it away. You know, when you first learn it, it's like chiseling it away, and then when you get to better, you're kind of using heavy sandpaper. And then you get the lighter sandpaper to make this thing a beautiful thing. So we don't expect it to be perfect now. We just expect it to have a reflection of what you just learned or changed. Okay. So the tough part is not going back to forgetting about that stuff, okay?
No voices, make sure you're listening to each other, okay?
Uh-oh. Thank you.
From the top. Anybody want to jump up there and do some things? Yeah.
Just to say something.
Good.
I felt,
Okay.
okay, example, I felt that measure,
Why don't you go up and tell them?
oops. Okay. So I felt that in measure number 11, if you have the melody, you lose the tempo a little bit, so the tempo is a little bit back, and then you recover the tempo on measure number 21. So, can we think that in measure 9 that we don't have like too much percussion because we are from measure 7A with a snare doing the percussion, and that really helps you for maintaining the tempo. But in measure 9 we don't have that rhythm. So can we like pretend that the figure that does the clarinet 1 and clarinet 2, it's our percussion, so that we can keep the tempo. Okay. So well, that's one thing. So let's try. Okay, all together from the beginning. Trumpets. Yes, I think we do it better. I think the tempo was better with the idea of the clarinets that are our percussion in that time. Another thing that I would like to measure, okay, let me put on 27, we have like it begins with a crescendo, and we're going to a crescendo. And then on 29 we have that double forte. So I would say that let's not just think on double fortes, it's like a long crescendo, okay? So in measure 27, let's do it really piano, okay? And then let's go grow. Do not think that when you are in 29, you're going to be hitting, you know. You're coming from something that is like growing, okay? It's growing, and then we go back to piano again, and then we go back to the clarinet part that is doing the figures, okay? So let's just start from the forte that is 25. And remember, when you go to 27, to the crescendo, you're going to do it more piano or be growing until that double forte, but nothing on double forte. It's just like something that is growing and then decreasing. Okay? From 25. I think could be more like a little bit more piano that 32 measure, I think. For give more like space for the next measure, okay? So let's try again, and let's think on 32 be more piano for the same measure. 25.
is what Mario was trying to do. I'd like to hear, without the baritone sax, measure 29. And I'll get to you baritone sax. Is there baritone sax? Oh, yeah. I'll get to you in a minute, all right? But I'd like for you to hear what they're doing with the phrasing. Phrasing's another concept, and if I just say, I want you to play with more phrasing, you might not know what to do, right? But we talked about that there, right? At 29, remember? And what did we talk about? More attack, making those crescendo, decrescendo at the end a little more. So, yeah, I want everybody that's playing at 29 to play now, except for the baritone sax. Here we go. 1, 2, and. Yes, except percussion. Sorry. 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, some nice things happening, right? Long notes crescendo to the next note, right? Kind of lost the attack idea. A little bit. Okay, add that to it one more time. I'm going to add your bari sax. Here we go. One more time. Not yet. Here we go. 1, 2, and. Good. Nice, nice. See, that's what I love about middle school, is they can play so well. You give them the right literature, right notes, in tune, with some phrasing concepts. Because what is the, what is the expectation of the crowd at middle school concerts? Okay, here they come. God only knows what we're going to hear tonight, right? But they can play so musical, right? That's what I love about it. I mean, high school, it's a whole different thing, at least in the U.S., and maybe not so much with you. But if you don't sound like a good college wind symphony at the high school level, you're not in the club. And that's very difficult to do when you don't have the people to do the literature that the college people do. But this is absolutely appropriate literature. Now we're going to add the baritone sax. Baritone sax, what do you think I wanted you to learn from that? You don't have to raise your hand because I'm using the one I'm talking to. Go ahead. Excuse me? Why did you... Your tempo? No, it wasn't tempo. You were a little loud. Okay? And some of it's the nature of the instrument, but when I listened to it, I could hear the phrasing happening, other than those accents we had to clean up again. But I heard, it didn't sound like you were phrasing with them. Okay, so now I want to do it again and have you phrase with them. Can you put your stand down a little bit? I want to be able to see. There we go. Got it? Here we go. Same people. 1, 2, ready, and. Right. So, is it better? Absolutely. Is it perfect? No. But we haven't got time, We just do as much as we can in one day, or else we're working that thing all period. Now, the real reason I did that, I want you to do it one more time, and I want the flutes, alto sax, got bass clarinet? No. Is that it? Just playing it in measure 11? Who's playing the melody 11? Flutes, oboes, and alto sax, right? So what is it? 2, 3, 4 of you? 5 of you. Okay. I want them to play that one more time, and I want you to listen to what you could incorporate at measure 11. Got the idea? We're going to let them play it one more time. One more time from you at 29. 29. Remember. 1, 2, and. Okay, what could you incorporate into that in your phrase at measure 11? 1, 2, 3, I'll even take you. You know what I call college students? Junior high and bigger bodies sometimes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What can you 5 people do that you'll learn from that? More attacks. What are you going to do with Mr. Whole Note there?
Like crescendo.
Crescendo on it, right? Okay, let's hear you play that now. Measure 11. 1, 2, ready, and. Better. I still think it had a little more attack, which means after you hit the note at the very beginning. And I come from the old. Anybody old enough like me? No. Nobody's that old. But anyway, remember the old synthesizers? When synthesizers first came out, you could program ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, and release. Remember? So if you wanted an enveloped attack, you could lay off the attack and boost up the sustain. You go womp, 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 right? If you wanted an attack, that's not an attack. That's an enveloped attack. But if you wanted an attack, you put it like this. You put more attack and less sustain. So we go da, 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 right? That's what I'd like to hear. But I'm done with that. Daniel. What I was trying to do here is show how modeling behaviors perks everybody up. Okay? We had very little, oh, come on, get it over with. Why? Because I wasn't telling them what to do much. I used them because I heard them doing something right, and so I used these guys here as models. Then fix that one, let that be the model for this one. Okay? Now we don't tell them any of that stuff. We'll tell them today because you're here. Okay, but that's where we kind of fool them into the right playing and the right musicianship because we're manipulating the behaviors, and I've gotten real turned on to this modeling stuff because I've realized if we're the mommy and the daddy all the time telling them everything to do, they lose it because they're not a part of the process. So if you can catch them doing something good, I know that's an old phrase in behavior modification, but if you can catch them doing something good, especially as a group, I don't care if they're this big or this big, and they can model the behavior. Same thing I did on the hymns of telling was, let's have the two people that can sing those solos model it, and everybody wants to be like them. Right? Good. Now, Daniel.
Okay. Hello everybody, I'm Daniel from Mexico, and I like to work a passage. If we could all concentrate on number 9, please. It's a very beautiful passage, and I think that Dr. Robinson already started talking about something that I wanted to work out, and that involves the baritone saxophone. And the reason of why is because of this. The first time I started in band, I started with a baritone saxophone. So for me, it was, I didn't do anything. So I just took the baritone saxophone, and suddenly I realized, like, oh, I have to play the long notes. I don't have any melody. And I wanted to kind of play the melody and play whatever the tenor or alto saxophone was doing. And but then I realized something. Without me, everything falls apart. So that's kind of, it was a self-boost for myself, like, I need to have that. I mean, if I don't do it for myself, nobody's going to do it. But I figured that at some point, the phrases are not that separated. Yes, we hear the flutes and they're playing the melody up there or the trumpet. But actually, nothing of that will sound nice if we don't have a nice bass section. You guys are the one that actually help that melody to come out. So I want to concentrate, for example, in number 9, where you have the long notes. I don't know why the composer of this didn't put the same line to the trombones. I think it would be nice if the trombones will play it, but it's not the case, and we don't have a tuba. I noticed that at some moment in the quarter notes, instead of phrasing the, it sounds like you don't make a difference between the quarter notes. So I can't follow the phrase. The phrase loses the meaning. So I will recommend you that each one, take a little bit of liberty. I'm not saying that you should play it louder than the flute. It's not the case. It will sound bad. But take the liberty to make a little appearance from time to time. You know what I mean? Feel it in with your instrument. The baritone saxophone saxophone is, it's a beautiful saxophone. So I think I would say, take a little liberty on those quarter notes to make it sound, and if that argument doesn't convince you, check the melody. Da, 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 dee, da, ba, 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 ba. It's a dialogue here. It's not like you're always being intimate. They can move on if you don't appear. Okay? So that's why for me it's extra important. The clarinets here are creating some sort of distraction, dun, 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 but the real action is happening here between the flutes and the baritone saxophone. So that's why I would say, do not underestimate, and nobody in band should underestimate that line. Not even the flutes are playing it. So I don't know if we could go, if you could just go from 9 and attacking with and then making that little appearance, and then go back to mezzo piano. You know what I mean? What is your name? Casey, can you play it from number 9? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. And then you go back to the mezzo piano because that's your original dynamic. All right. A little bit sharp, I think. And then you go like that all the time, and you don't slur those. Can we play just flutes, oboe, and baritone saxophone in that section? Mallet percussion, do you have something? You play the melody too? No? Okay. Number 9. No, that's fine. I thought there was mallet percussion in this part. Number 9. 1, 2, 1. Yes, you start. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, and. There. You notice you enter a bit late, and it was noticeable that you did like a little bit late. So try to be on time. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, and. The rhythm falls apart. So that's what I'm saying. Think of yourself as a very important instrument. Not just something that the composer said, just because I have to put it. It is actually a very important part.
Yeah, very good. And I think all of us were hearing that. But I want to try one other thing to reinforce that. Here's your score, Dana. And that is, and it probably took me 20 years of business to realize this, that entrances and releases are oftentimes our fault, okay? Because what they see visually is going to have a one-to-one effect on what they do, okay? So when we have this coming in on the second beat for the baritone sax player, one thing is if you don't hold it to full value, you're going to get to 2 before you get to 1, right? So which is what happened to you. But let's just try that same thing. I want to try just a little bit different visual technique to see if it helps you get on the right beat. We'll do it the same way. I think part of the problem now is we don't have this boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop to hold it. But let's just see what happens, okay? Just baritones and flutes. And, just baritone, flutes, and oboes. Here we go. And we're starting at 9. Ready? At 9. Important beat in an entrance is not the entrance itself. The most important beat in an entrance, as just a human response, is if we do it at the entrance, it's too late. So the most important beat to get somebody in on a beat is the beat before. So if we have a hard 1, he's got much more likelihood of coming in on 2 than he does if I go bum. Bum, bum. Was that easier for you? Because baritone players, sax players, they just like to play. They don't like to think. They just like to play. You know what I mean? All right. So, I think we've kind of beat this horse to death. Let's go to the next one, shall we? Great job, band. Stand up. Ready? Stand up. Another. Okay, so, take a nice deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. All right. Sit, relax, think about your next piece, and we'll move on.